John Deere's closed, but luckily they kept the parts out for me. We got them. Nice. I bought some Yetter Poly closing wheels, and these are supposed to hopefully have a pretty good return on your investment right here. Here's what happened. This whole thing cracked off right here, and Spencer filled it all the way up with water and rinsed out everything.
Rinsed it out twice, all the way with water, all the way with the water.
Through the pump?
No, but all the way with water so that it came out these cracks.
Oh, really? So there shouldn't be any diesel besides a couple droplets. There
would be some on the, kind of the lining of the tank. It probably had some film. It's diesel film on the is what I'm kind of thinking.
So the whole unit came off in the trailer, and they're just welding back the whole thing around here.
Let us know in the comments if this is really dumb or if
we're gonna find out.
We took our precautions.
How was it?
It was good. Smoking metal right there. Just kept on through it. The wind kind of played a role. Kept on. We had to block it, but once we got going, got it blocked.
So I picked up. These are called Yetter Poly twisters, and it's a closing wheel on the back of the planter. And usually, most of the time, we have these rubber closing wheels right here. Anyways, so Beck's Hybrids, are a seed dealer. They've done a study for a while, and I'll put the actual numbers up. I don't know them off the top of my head. There's a pretty good yield advantage. In no-till, there's a way better yield advantage to having these than conventional till, but I think in conventional tilled ground, they still showed a yield advantage, especially in marginal planting conditions, having these closing wheels. Last video we were trying to find the tile line, if you guys remember. Well, there's a tile line, and then some guy commented, he was like, you should try dowsing sticks. And it's these sticks you hold out, and then when you hit a electric or water line or anything under there, they will turn in on each other, and they will turn in. And you look to your left, you look to your right, and you see that's where the line is. I was trying this in my backyard last night. I found it. I found the lines, and now I have an electrical line. I know where it's at. Right there. Now go walk out in the field of waste, see if they turn.
Yeah, they work. You feel it. It's not exact.
Okay, there's a water line run right through here. You can kind of see it. We'll see if Spencer can find it. So further apart. That one wants to go. Oh, yeah. Right there. And that's right where it runs. That is right where it runs. I'm going to try and locate my tile lines. Tile's going to be a whole different beast. It's a clay line. It's a run a lot more water. And we're going to see if we can locate our tile lines with these. So my dad was trying to prove to us how he could get a tractor lug nut off with a breaker bar, and he was jumping on it like crazy. He was messing around, and it comes with breaker bar, falls off the bolt, and just smashes the valve stem, leaks air all over the place. So to replace this valve stem, you gotta kind of pop the tire off the bead and stuff like that. So we're gonna just take it in to the local Firestone guy, have him do it real quick. So this Mama Java is what should be able to take off all of our bolts no matter what.
Put some grease on here on this slide. There, it's going on. Does it want to come this way? Take it all the way.
There you go. Now just slide it. Down. Good.
Right, yeah, right there.
Go.
Looks like I need to go to the left.
I'd say down a bit.
There, go.
Right there. Okay, just leave it. Don't go down.
Just, we can use the washer too.
I think we got that figured out now. So that way, if I get a sprayer bot and we have to take the duals off for spraying, that'll be nice. Plan is to go clean up. Spencer's got a bunch of piles of fence along there that we're gonna go clean up. We're gonna toss them in the dump trailer and then go take them down to a creek. He's off for another load. The poor guy ripped his mud flap off backing up, and it took the whole panel, under panel with it, like around the fender. Okay, it is crazy windy out here. We're gonna try and get the field cultivator hooked up. The hitch is so narrow, it's so tough to get this hooked up. So we're gonna try heating up the hitch and bending it so that way we can get the drawbar on there a lot easier. This clevis or hitch is so annoying. It is so tight in there, so we're gonna try heating it up. I don't know if that's gonna get enough heat. Try bending it with pry bars just so you can get it on here a little better, because there's almost no gap on this drawbar. Don't mind this setup, we'll get that fixed. Right there.
So you think before the video playing it?
There. You get over there? Well, you gotta come backwards, you gotta come down.
Yeah, there's no way.
Okay, test. We gotta break open this. We got a
It's a
3/8
silencer. It's a
to
suppressor.
1/2 inch to 1 inch adapter on there. Is she gonna break there? That's
And then
only,
the 1-inch socket too.
I mean, we'll see the little guy. Come on. Are you going the right way?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm going the right way. I'm not like you.
Okay. Oh, there we go. So yeah, it's gonna come down.
I'll fall better.
It's the next day now, and we started going through this cultivator, and I started looking at the sweeps, shanks, whatever people want to call them. And gosh dang, some of them are getting real thin and small. So I like, look at this guy. That is yeah, we need to replace those. So I went and got 21 sweeps. We're gonna try and knock those off. The only issue is John Deere didn't have all the hardware in stock that you need for that. So we're gonna have to use some of the old hardware, and hopefully it doesn't break off there. Okay, so these are the new sweeps. That one's, yeah, I'd say those are pretty worn. I guess length though, length isn't bad on those. Like width isn't bad on those. They still have some width to them. Now I'm not totally sure if we're gonna be able to do a one pass tillage on my corn on corn ground. It's pretty darn rough, and there's a lot of stalks that I didn't have that disc ripper set right in the front. I probably should, it was my first time doing it. And so the discs weren't really kind of chopping up the stalks probably like they should have. So there's some roots out there. There's some stalks out there that are still standing and stuff. And if you look through that field, you can see rows and rows of like corn stalks standing. So I'm thinking I might have to quick hit this once, level it out real nice, let rain get on it because it's gonna rain here. And then second time I can just fly like 9 mile an hour, just fly, hit the top 2 inches. We'll have an awesome seed bed right before I plant. So it's kind of what I'm thinking. We found a broken shank here. Spencer's gonna weld this up. Right here, it's cracked. Right here, it's broken. So we're gonna try and piece this together. Think you got it? A welder, master welder, Spencer? What?
And
Oh, Jesus.
yeah, this cord's got some.
She's
This
got some
welder's
use.
seen better days.
If anybody's knows a good welder for beginners, let me know in the comment section. I'd love to get into it and try it.
Yeah, so I just did one side, and keep in mind I've probably actually been welding for a total time of like physically welding is like maybe 2 minutes tops. Don't really know what I'm doing, but it seems like the further the end is away, the less like control you have of the metal melting or whatever. Anyway, try and once that dry or cools more, we'll try and press that down, and then hopefully that it's just bent and we can bend it back. So
That left hydraulic cylinder we replaced this spring here, and it was making some weird noises, but it should be fine. Could have a little air in the system or something. Okay, we're gonna go hit the road and test some of the ripped ground and see how this cultivator does behind it. And then Spencer's gonna be on the same farm. He's gonna be running the excavator because we still probably have, I don't know, 1/8 of a mile of fence row to clean up, and there's just a lot of little brush. And I think we may just light the ditch on fire of some of the stuff we cleared out to kind of clean it up a little more. Since we have the cultivator down there, if anything starts spreading, I'll just run it down with the cultivator and knock out the fire. So we may do that too. So across there, if you guys can see it, there's some kind of rows of corn stalks, and I probably ripped it. Didn't have the ripper set right. I did test it on 2 acres over there. It seems to do a decent job, but I am just shocked about, well, not too shocked because you can see the residue, but there's a lot of residue left over from this corn crop. And then this corn crop through here, most of this was like kind of 180 bushel corn, but then you got to 220 bushel corn, which the more corn you produce, the more residue it's gonna produce. On corn, usually you want to get a lot of that residue kind of cleaned up and out of the way. Some guys say the blacker the better. Some people have no-tilled into corn on corn, but a lot of the consensus is that you want to clean up a lot of that residue for corn on corn. It ties up a lot of that nitrogen right away, and then also, and this is kind of the iffy part that I'm a little worried about, is some of this kind of corn could get in that seed bed too. When we have so much corn on top and I'm cultivating all this kind of residue in, could get in that seed bed, and then maybe I won't get as good seed to soil contact when I come through with the planter and I'm planting right next to old corn residue. Oh boy, I think I'm in for a treat with this field cultivator. We're piling up a lot. It does a decent job. And then you start forming some piles. Sometimes they clear themselves out. There's one forming behind those 2 wheels right there. I cannot believe how much cornstalk residue is out here still. Like, look at that. My trash whippers, I better have these things set good when I go through this, because we are gonna need to push all this out of the way and get that seed right there. I'm hoping that it does good. So I'm having to, well, auto-steer is kind of nice because you can actually look at the cultivator when it's about to pile up. But I just get piles and piles, and then it all piles up in the field cultivator, and then I have to lift up and kind of try and level all this out. Maybe you can't see it too good on camera. Gosh dang. You know, I always looked at guys like that had the mulch finishers. They have discs in the front of the field cultivator, basically. It's a mulch finisher. I was like, do you really need that? Like, a field cultivator does a pretty good job. Now I realize why those guys run mulch finishers, because it would really chop up these stalks, and then you'd finish it with the shanks, and that'd be nice to have right now. I think one thing I probably would have done differently is and I kind of realized this as I was ripping. I was like, gosh, it would have been nice to hit this with a vertical tillage tool really quick, just to chop up the corn stalks, and then you bury the corn stalks. Or it would have been nice to just chop the stalks like the old days. Guys used to always chop their stalks and then they disc ripped and stuff. Probably would have been a good idea, just because we start getting tons of long stringy stalks and stuff out here. I'm a little bit in a predicament. I kind of don't like the idea of going over ground twice and just wasting the fuel, especially. But at the same time, I have to lift up like every probably 7 seconds to clear the cultivator. And maybe what I could do is just rip off that harrow. It seems like every part of the harrow corn stalks get caught up in. Rip off the harrow, just go through this pretty fast, and then maybe come a second time with the harrow on and just go real fast and don't go deep at all. That way I'm at least spreading those corn stalks out. Another option that would probably work pretty good is to rent my neighbor's VT again and hit the VT with this. That way all the residue will get through that. The question is, you gotta get some speed. It is gonna be rough running a VT on this, but that might be an option. I don't know, guys. I don't know. The thing I love about kind of getting started farming right now is that, you know, like, this was a mistake I made in the fall. I should have chopped these stalks or VT'd them or something, but you can only be mad at yourself. That is what's so great. I don't have anybody else to blame but myself here. Okay, game plan. This is the one that clogs first. I'm thinking we could maybe adjust these, pull them really close in so that trash maybe flows better underneath it. There's still other places it's getting caught up here, but this may help. Oh God, let's see if that works.